setting up an ambush for us in Central Square. They'll be packing heat for sure, so we're gonna have to play for keeps. Choose your partner carefully for this rumble. Progress. The punks who've been tagging along with the Shadow Platoon as well as the Outlaws are starting to feel the squeeze out there. They're afraid they won't have a place to call home after our cleanup. But that'll be the last of their worries. Now they'll get bumped out of town all right, but only after they've been kicked in the dirt. Snap their arms like twigs to ensure they'll never use their weapons again. Cleanup in the urban areas, a few Shadow Platoon guys have entered Katanashi's turf. They were probably waiting for the right moment to launch their attack when Katanashi's disciples found them and drove them into a warehouse. Go and crush their ambitions for the near future.
Hey, come on!
We finally cleaned the city of its filth. But our work's not done yet. The gang behind the rioting has fled out to the residential district. Their boss is hiding somewhere out there. Go shake down some of his men to find out where they were heading. That'll be where their boss is. Take Alex with you for this one. He's a little tough to manage, but you can't argue with his skills.
Roger that.
Napalm 99 over at Green Hill. He's been ducking out there ever since we got him on the run. We're going to jump him when he goes out for a bite to eat. Be sure not to cause too much commotion, or else he'll split before you have a chance to catch him off guard. For that reason, I'm sending you in alone. Napalm 99 calls the shots for all those guys, so he's not your average thug. I have no idea what he's got up his sleeve, but I know you can take him down. I'm counting on you. In a building located in the urban district. Stroll right up to his front door and shut him down. His gang has already lost their territory, so crippling their headquarters will further disrupt their chain of command. They won't have any reinforcements, so let loose in there and cause as much damage as possible.
I'll cut you in pieces!
there, but the rioting has subsided. But just as we thought things were finally quieting down, our friends McKinsey and Napalm 99 have shown up to party some more. Some of the Zaps and Hell's Legions got capped in the process. Apparently those two were too much for them to handle. Expect them to be playing for keeps, especially because they've lost not only their pride, but also their turf. All they want is to hurt us, and they want to hurt us bad. Hell, I say bring it on. Let's get this over with.
Go to hell!
They'll be here any minute. It's probably not what's left of the Outlaws or the Shadow Platoon. If it's a bunch of new kids in town, they gotta be pretty ballsy to walk right up to my front door. I'm sure they've got the outside surrounded too. Here they come. Let's fight our way out of here. the recent attack. Apparently, we're dealing with an organized crime syndicate known as the Mushin Kai. These guys are professionals, fearless and cold-blooded contract killers. They've also uncovered that they've got connections that go up to some pretty high places at various corporations. So we know that they are well-financed as well. Looks like we've really kicked the hornet's nest this time. But there's no way I'm going to give in. I want to send them a clear message. We'll show those killers hanging out in Green Hill a world of hurt. Have moved into the South End. Since they're carrying swords, my guess is that they're not here as tourists. But they're not the Mushin Kai's people either. I recognize them as the Tin Jiao, a group that splintered off from Chinatown some time ago. But it doesn't matter, they're small time. Still, why have they returned? They were led away from Chinatown by... Anyway, now's not the time to worry about that. Get out there and show them how to really use those swords. Led by a killer from the Mushin Kai have reared their ugly faces. It looks like they've received my message. Once they figure out that we won't surrender, they'll send their men to force our hand. Well, there's no way we're backing down. I have a feeling this is going to be a bloody war of attrition. We'll figure out our next move after we whack those fools. Seems the Mushin Kai are taking in all the leftover outlaws who were orphaned after we took care of their boss. We've got to break up their recruitment ring now before they can mobilize. If you take out the Mushin Kai fighter, the crowd will probably disperse. Downtown. I heard the guys behind the attack are headed towards the Civic Center. They're just puppets of the Mushin Kai, and they won't get away with this. Among the group of attackers was McKinsey. I guess each of the small-time captains are brown-nosing the Mushin Kai bigwigs. Go and take care of those dogs. Make sure you're watching your partner's back. If people see you carrying your wounded partner around the Civic Center, there's gonna be trouble from the cops. Shinkai is using a room in that building as one of their bases of operations. Men brandishing Chinese swords are going in and out of there. Well, just as I thought. The Mushinkai and the Tinjiao are working together. Right now, the Mushinkai guys are nowhere to be seen. All that's guarding the building right now are a handful of goons and a couple of heavies. If your partner gets knocked out, you're gonna have a hell of a time getting out of there in one piece when their reinforcements arrive. In other words, make sure your partner doesn't go down.